Hey, glad. Yo, what's good with it? Podcast. It's your host, Lil Mac. All right, let me stop. But like on a serious note, though, today we're gonna talk about why you need to stop comparing yourself to people and start being inspired by them instead. And the reason I wanted to make this episode is because I'll oftentimes catch myself comparing myself to other people, and normally it's other people in like the same field that I want to be in, and they're a year, two, three, four down the line, so they've already been through all the stuff that I want to do. And I think it's important that we remember that, because while you want to be in their shoes, there's someone that wants to be in your shoes, and then that person that wants to be in your shoes, there's someone that wants to be in their shoes. So I think it's this constant cycle, and I think we need to change our mindset around it. It shouldn't be I'm comparing myself to this person, I want to be them. It should be, nah, be inspired by that person. The stuff they do, become inspired by it. Take bits and pieces of it. So let's get straight into it. So I think we all can admit at the end of the day, comparison is a dangerous game. They quite literally say comparison is a thief of joy. Comparison can make you feel like you're not doing enough, even when you're making progress. It makes you forget that everyone is having different points. Excuse me. It makes you forget that everyone has different starting points, different challenges, different advantages. And then on top of that, I feel like social media just makes this so much worse, because what we see are highlights of people's life. We don't see the lowlights. We don't see, what happens behind the scenes or what's going on at the crib, all the mental stuff they have going on. We just get to see the highlights. We see all the greatness. When we see a TikTok video, most of the time we don't see the ones with 10, 20, 30 likes. We see them sometimes, occasionally, but for the most part, we see the TikToks with 5 million likes, couple 100,000 likes, couple thousand likes. And we see the creators with millions of followers, thousands of followers, and we want to put ourselves in those shoes. But what's crazy is we don't know where they are in their own life. So that's just something else that I want to call attention to. But obviously, I've been there before, and there was a time when I looked at other people's success and I felt like I was falling behind. I wasn't appreciating my own journey, and I was too focused on someone else's. But then I came to realize that instead of letting their success make me feel inadequate, I could use it as proof that what I wanted was perceivable and receivable and achievable. You feel me? Calm little, I don't even know what it's called, automatopoeia or something like that. I don't remember no more. I'm not in English. So I know y'all probably asking, well, Mac, how the hell do I shift my mindset? And you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna read from my script. Yes, my script, bro. I gotta have a script, fam. I don't know how people would just be pulling this type of information from their head, but no, I had to write it down because I'm just not like that. I'm not him. But so first, change the question. Instead of asking, why am I not like them? Start asking, what can I learn from them? When you see someone achieving what you want, don't see it as a threat, see it as a lesson. What are they doing differently? And what habits do they have that you could adopt? And on top of that, I think a lot of people don't realize, just as you look up to certain people look up to you, whether it be younger siblings, coworkers, people online. There's always someone that looks up to you and appreciates the effort that you've put into, whether it be you or your craft. There's always someone that's going to appreciate that, even if you don't notice it. And I think it's important for you to remind yourself of that whenever you start comparing yourself to someone else. Instead of comparing yourself, be inspired. Inspire yourself, and then you're going to inspire others. We don't always get to see the impact that we have on people, but think about it. Have you ever been inspired by someone who had no idea they were inspiring you? Maybe it was a friend's work ethic, someone's discipline in the gym, or even just how someone carries themselves, like their confidence. The same way you notice those things about others, people notice them about you. So you never know who's watching you, who's taking notes, who's pushing harder because they saw you keep going. And that's why it's so important to focus on your journey, because when you move with purpose, when you grow, when you show up for yourself every day, you become an example for someone else. So with that being said, I want to ask y'all one question. What's one thing you can learn from them to help you grow? And when I say them, I'm referring to anyone that you compare yourself to, anyone that you have the aspiration to be like, or that you wish they were in their shoes, what do they do? What does their life look like that differentiates from yours? What do you need to do to be in their shoes? I feel like those are the type of questions that you have to ask yourself. For me, I want to go back to how you can be silently inspired by someone else. My roommate, bro, is writing a book right now. He is at, I think bro's on like chapter 40 something. 40 something chapters. He got damn near a couple thousand pages or 1,000 pages or something like that. And I just found it really inspiring that he had stayed committed to it for this long. And that made me want to pick up my mic and start yapping some more, and keep yapping for that matter. So I think that's why it's so important to focus on your journey, because when you move with purpose, you grow. When you show up for yourself every day, you become an example for someone else. And he became an example for me. So I want to get into some practical steps. So how do you actually apply it? And here's some ways to shift your mindset. So practice gratitude, bro. This is so big. So instead of focusing on what you lack, remind yourself of what you do have. You've already overcome things that someone else is still struggling with. And I think that's really important to focus on right there. Let me say that again. You have already overcome things that someone else is still struggling with. I think that really puts comparison into perspective, because we're all people and we're all on our own paths of life. You know, Sonder as fuck, you feel me? But it's like, you right. So right now, I'm on a weight loss journey and I have lost 35 pounds, I think, so far. Yippee! Yay, go me type shit. And a lot of the times I find myself comparing myself to people that have lost like 65 pounds, 80 pounds. And I'm like, damn, I wish I was in them. I wish I was in those shoes. But then I stop and I think to myself, 4 months ago, I was wishing that I was 30 pounds lighter. And now I'm here. So I've stepped over that hurdle, and now there's someone else that has probably been inspired by my actions. In fact, no, there's not, no, probably there is someone. My roommate, my parents, my brother have all been inspired by my actions of staying disciplined and continuously going to the gym and watching what I eat. And they've started to kind of follow in my footsteps. And I think it feels a lot better to become inspired and see that you are inspiring other people than it is to compare yourself to the people that you want to be like. So secondly, limit social media consumption, fam. I had to start doing this. I couldn't do it no more, bro. There was no reason that I need to hop on TikTok. You see, let me just play this out for y'all real quick. First TikTok, I'm a 22-year-old millionaire. What are you doing today? Second TikTok, Andrew Tate yapping about some bullshit. You're not getting any bitches. You need to get money. Scroll. Drop shipping. You need to make money. I'm 21 and I made 50 million. How I turned 500 million into 50 million. I mean, how I turned $500 into $50 million. And it's like, family, bro, get off that shit. That shit is not realistic. Yeah, it happens for some people. And I think it's good to have that hope that it'll happen for you. But I think for the most part, get off that shit, fam. Cut that shit off. It's okay to get on TikTok, get on Instagram every now and again. But I think once we start seeing all these people that are successful and quote unquote better off than us, we start to compare ourselves and want to put ourselves in those shoes. And if you catch yourself feeling discouraged instead of motivated, take a step back, curate your feed to include people who inspire you in a healthy way. That's what I started doing. People like Higher Up Wellness, The Zerky Show, just people who are either going to teach me how to become a better me, or who are telling me about how they became a better them. Number 3, learn from others instead of feeling jealous. Like I said earlier, if someone is where you want to be, study them. What steps do they take? What lessons can you apply to your own path? And that goes back to my question. What's one thing you can learn from them to help you grow? Okay, and lastly, number 4, celebrate your own wins. Stop downplaying your own progress. Small wins lead to big wins. Track your journey, not someone else's. And I can only bring y'all back to what I was saying about the weight loss. I was comparing myself to the people that had lost 80 pounds, 100 pounds, whatever it may have been, and wishing that I was them, not realizing that I had lost 30 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I'm halfway through my journey. I only have 30 pounds left. That's a win. You know what I'm saying? You got to celebrate that. If you lost 2 pounds, 1 pound, 5 ounces, 10 pounds, whatever it may be, if you got 5 views on the TikTok when last week you only had 3, if you got 10, if you got 10 likes when you only had 3 last week, you feel me? It's stuff like that that you need to celebrate. It may not seem like this huge, big deal, but it helps you to stay positive in the process. This is like, oh shit, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You have to be your own biggest hype man. Because you at the end of the day, you're gonna be your own biggest hater, but you have to be willing to be your own biggest hype man as well. Because those self-doubt thoughts, those hating thoughts, those are just gonna stem from your like heart. You really can't control those, but you can deflect them, and you can say, you know what, shit, 10 views ain't bad, or 10 views is bad, but shit, last week I had 5, so fuck it, we ball. I'm gonna reiterate this. Who's someone that you've compared yourself to recently? Instead of feeling behind, what's one thing you can learn from them to help you grow? And on the flip side, have you ever considered that someone might be looking at you for inspiration? What's something you've done that you're proud of? So boom. At the end of the day, bro, comparison doesn't serve you. But inspiration, that can change everything. So the next time you catch yourself feeling like you're behind, remember this. Someone else is looking at you and feeling motivated. Keep pushing, keep growing, and keep being an example. Whew, that's all I got for today, bro. My room is hot. Look at this. I got my shit got a moist spot, bro. That was so OD.